Yeah, I'm proud of our guys. Obviously you kind of set the stage there with everything. Coming on the road, quick turnaround after a really emotional game. Late Wednesday night. I don't think I got to bed till almost 3 o'clock. Wednesday night or Thursday morning, whatever you call it. And they've been playing. Fresno's been playing really well at home. We knew it was going to be a really tough game, and thankfully our guys made plays, especially those last 3 minutes. Jaden Henley, Mekhi Williams were sensational.
Yeah, they certainly were. Listen, it wasn't the most, as I would call them, aesthetically pleasing game. I think that you guys shot a combined 10 for almost 50 from three. But look, defense travels, so it shows that you can win a game in multiple ways. You got good performances by guys up and down the roster, even though you struggled to shoot. Your defense was right there. Speak to the defense and the effort that you get from those guys on that end of the floor.
Yeah, I thought it was our best defensive effort from our center. F.A. Demerol is his best defensive game of the year. Dennis Evans has been great the last two games. Today he gave us a little burst of some good defense in there. But our guards did a great job. They have some really explosive offensive players. And, at the end of the day, thankfully they missed shots. We're thankful some of the shots that they missed. And we were able to rebound the basketball.
Coach, I know you've kind of been sort of a chameleon in terms of your tempo the last few years. And you talked about this year how you're sort of looking to get out and take some opportunities when it's there. And I think you also been honest about you're not the best shooting team that you've had. How are you is that sort of game to game calculus, or is there sort of like a throughout the season ebb and flow of like the trying to find your DNA offensively?
Yeah. I think last year we were top 15 in pace. So we played, a lot faster. This year our pace has, been a lot slower. And, some of that's because the defenses we're playing, are making us pass the ball more. And then, I think our team, we have a lot of new players. And again, we do run some actions, some sets. I think hopefully as the year goes on, they get more comfortable with each other where they're supposed to be, and just a familiarity with each other. So the other thing is Mountain West, teams guard different night to night. So sometimes something that works on Wednesday doesn't work on Saturday. And so those are things, we're learning our first time in the league also.
Well, speaking of your first time in the league, it doesn't get any easier as you guys are going to head to Reno for a date with the Wolfpack on Tuesday, and then short turnaround back Friday night at home against Boise, who you guys defeated up there, so they'll be out for a little bit of revenge. Speak to this grind here that you guys are in. You just came off probably one of the best 8-day stretches of your career here as a Lopes head coach, and now you got to buck right back up and head on the road again and then play a team who's very talented next weekend.
Yeah, no, it's this is definitely a grind. I knew this was a really good league before we came in. I don't think until you actually experience it and you go through, do you realize just how good of a league this is. There's so many good teams, good players, tough environments, physical games. Every game's emotional. And, a big thing for us, is not just being physically drained, but emotionally drained. And so obviously rest is going to be big, but we're very thankful, thank the Lord where we are right now. And hopefully we can get healthy, get Brian Moore back, and get our full roster, sooner than later.
Yeah, Coach, what's his prognosis if you have anything to tell us on his timeline? But then beyond that, I was going to say, what is your X factor if you had to say coming down the next 2 months? Because to me, it seems like he is kind of that guy, but what's your take on that?
Yeah, he those last two games, he was just terrific. And we definitely missed him tonight. And so, right now he's rehabbing hard with our trainer. We have a great trainer. He's been rehabbing hard on the road here with them. So he'll probably be doing stuff, obviously the next 48 hours. And, hopefully we'll see how he goes when we get close to game time.
Coach, we'll get you out of here with this one because we didn't mention this young man yet. Jaden Henley's been one of the best players in the conference. Did it all for you tonight, played extended minutes because you were down more. Talk to him as a steadying presence, as a leader. He's been in this conference before, so he can probably give your guys a little bit of insight as to how to navigate some of these trips and the road arenas and environments. But he's played really, really good basketball. Matt and I were just talking about that before you came on. What are you seeing and what do you like about Jaden Henley?
Yeah, he was his experience, I think, in the Mountain West definitely helps and definitely helped, today. He was sensational the last 5 minutes closing that game with his drives to the basket and some of his passes. And, I love his intensity. I love how he just loves the game. He loves to compete. He loves to play. He has a natural love and passion for the game. So, his success in these games doesn't just happen. He's in the gym all the time working on his game.
Yeah. Well, look, you guys are in a great position here. One game behind as we get close to the halfway point. One game behind San Diego State. You have a win in hand over them. We know you got to go to Viejas. You had a couple other teams in there tied with you with 2 losses. But I think you got to be pleased with the position you're in as we get into the final 6 or 7 weeks of the conference season here.
Yeah, definitely pleased. Like we said, lots of really good teams. Every night's a battle. So we're going to enjoy this win tonight. Every win's a blessing. Going to enjoy it and then try to get ready to go, for Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we really appreciate your time. Go celebrate with your guys. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and we'll catch you soon down here on another night in the Mountain West.
Sounds great. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Coach. All right, let me get Matt.